Apologies for that, guys. I hope I did not lose you all. I don't know why, but every time a phone call comes in on my phone and I don't have that silence, it will do some other things. It will just completely stop the video for whatever reason. But I apologize to that. For all the viewers, please, hey, come on back. I apologize once again. But let's go ahead and get on into this. Like I say, I apologize once again. I hope I did not lose you guys. If I did, please come on back to the podcast. Did not mean for that to happen. I hate when that happens. That's like the second time that happened. So I'm gonna have to really learn how to block that on out. Salvage that. But anywho, guys. So look, I'm going to remove my helmet today. I'm going to remove the Aggie helmet because I have a few things to show here. Okay. Of course, you guys can see all of my stuff up here, all of the everything up here. All right. So first and foremost, I want to acknowledge this young lady here. She's from Martin Mills. I believe that's Martin Mills, Texas. I have no clue where Martin Mills is at, and I've been in Texas all my life. If you guys know where that's at, please come tell me. But she is playing golf. She has committed to the Aggie women's golf team. All right. So once again, her name is Mia Nixon, and she has committed to the Texas A&M women's golf team. Another young man right here, Demarco Escobar. He's from Converse, Judson. I believe that's the same place of where DeMarvin Leal is from, Converse, Texas, over there. But he has committed to the track and field. In the 200 meters, you know, it had his time 21.87. In the 400s, his time was 47.9. Once again, he has committed to the track and field team, Mr. Demarco Escobar. Have another young man right here, Mr. Ethan Sanders. He's from San Antonio, Texas out there. San Antonio, please stand up. UTSA, please stand up. This is another one. He has the shot put in there and the discuss. I have no clue what that is. Once again, hey, I have to learn this track and field. You guys, please come and let me know what it is. You know, because now at this point, you guys are teaching me, okay? I've never been to a track meet before, ever. Just to let everybody out there know as well. I've never ever been to a track meet. This young lady here, Mrs. Anna De La Garza. She's from College Station out there, people. College Station, Texas. That's crazy, right? She's from College Station, Texas out there. She has also committed to track and field. She's doing the shot put, the discuss, and the javelin. See, I don't even much know what the javelin is. Once again, you guys have to come and teach me these things, okay? This young lady here, Sanu Jilo, from Charlotte, North Carolina. I believe she was the #1 in her state, if I'm not mistaken. She has committed to Texas A&M track and field as well. Once again, she was #1 in her state, if I'm not mistaken. The last time I checked on Twitter, I believe they said she was #1. So this is another member from Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, I will say this here. I don't know if she knows Moose Muhammad or not, but Moose Muhammad is also from North Carolina. I'm not sure where Moose Muhammad is actually from, but I believe he's from Charlotte, North Carolina as well. But once again, Moose Muhammad is also from North Carolina. But once again, Sanu J-Lo, I don't know if that's J-Lo or J-Lo. She's from Charlotte, North Carolina. In the 100 meters, she runs 11.88, 200 meters, 24.16, the 400 meters, 53.71, and the 800 meters, 2.07.78. All right. Once again, I believe she's #1 in her state. This is another young lady who's committed to Texas A&M track and field. Unfortunately, I do not have a tracking time here. But this is Miss Cassidy Caroline Graham. This one here, this is the young lady that I was tracking. And I tracked her really hard. And this is the one I told her I was going to give her a huge shout out. This is Miss Cameron Dixon. She's from League City, Texas. That's why I say I couldn't remember if she was from Houston, Texas, or on the outskirts, and that's League City. Of course, I know where League City is. That's out there by that. That's out there. Am I gonna go out there? No, I'm not. But that's out there. Leagues. That is a drive. You hear me? That is a heck of a drive. Man, that got to be at least 2 hours from College Station. But anywho, so she's from Clearbrook High School. She is number 1 in either her respective meters, or she's number 1 in the state of Texas alone. But it's either she's the number 1 or she's top 5. I know she's either, okay, let me say number 1 through 10. She's top 10, I know for sure. But this young lady is the one who I tracked for a while, man. And she was down to 3 schools. So a little bit about her commitment. She was down to 3 schools. She was down to Baylor, University of Texas, and Texas A&M, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, all 3. Baylor, Texas A&M. Man, I went all over her posting, hey, hashtag, hey, come on home. You know where home is. And she picked Texas A&M. Now, Texas A&M has one of the best track and field coaches, if I'm not mistaken. So that's another one of the reasons why she had picked Texas A&M. But also Baylor has a pretty good track team, if I'm not mistaken, because if I remember correctly, that's where Kellen Mond's girlfriend ran track at as well out there in Baylor. But of course, man, Texas A&M has a darn good track and field team. We are up there in in the top 10 elites for track and field. Heck, we just had about, I think, 2 or 3 people go to the Olympics. And we just had one in which I cannot remember a name. A name is not coming to my mind right now, but hell, she broke a record. You know, and you guys know exactly who I'm talking about out there, because you guys are gonna put the name in the comments. But you guys know exactly who I'm talking about, man. So that could be another reason to why she chose Texas A&M. But also, I looked at her interview and looked at why she actually chose it. She's going for an engineering part at Texas A&M. I think it's bioengineering or something like that. So she's going to go for that. Like I say, man, Texas A&M is one of the best engineering programs in the state of Texas. So, you know, hey, I'm just saying, A&M plays a part really, really big in this education process. So, shout out to this young lady once again, Cameron Dixon. Shout out to her mom, you know, her dad, and everybody, man, the whole family. I just want to welcome them to Aggieland, just as well as we all want to welcome them to Aggieland. So, hey, that's it for that. We're going to go ahead and get off of that. Once again, shout out to them. Please excuse me. Going to leave that on there. All right. So anywho, guys, this is a couple of more updates, and then we're going to get into the football. I know a lot of you guys on here tuned in, and you guys are waiting for me to talk about football. I have to have a rundown of all of my Texas A&M Aggies, man. So for the women's soccer part, a couple of commits I'm about to name. For the 2023 commitment, we have Georgia Lab. Welcome to Aggieland. 2022 commit, Caroline Calzada. Yes, people. Hector Calzada, where you at? Mr. Hector. Look, you guys are running the whole ship through Aggieland, I see, man. From Georgia to Texas. All right. So, hey, man, we love that move. And, hey, man, by all means, welcome to Aggieland. We love to have you. And welcome to the family. Another 2022 commit, Caroline Niffin and Sydney Bacara, I believe. All right, so baseball commits. I only have one baseball commit because it's the only one that I seen on Twitter that I know of. 2022 commit Shane Sato or something like that. Don't know how to pronounce it all the way correctly. Don't know if I did. But Shane Sato. All right. And also for the men's golf, we have a commit as well, Mr. Jamie Montoyo. He's from Europe. And Mr. Joe Stover from Dallas, Texas out there. Also in women's golf, we have a commit, of course, Miss Mia Nixon. So I just had to name those out there. Just to give you guys a rundown and stuff like that. So men's basketball, they do have a game tonight at 7 p.m. at Reed Arena on SEC Network Plus. All right. Women's in track and field, cross country, women's and men's track and field, cross country. They placed at 6. Okay, so I just wanted to throw those things out there, man. And this is one more young lady who I want to mention. And I noticed that this young lady here is real popular. She just ran across my Twitter, and all of a sudden when I seen her Twitter, man, her Twitter page just blew up on me all of a sudden. But she's a grad, she's a grad senior, and she's also on the women's track team as well. Her name is Miss Syria Richardson. She's a grad transfer from Ohio State out there, so she's pretty popular. And of course, Devin A-Chain, we all know that he's on that men's track team. So hey, that's about it that I got for some things outside of football. Okay. Oh, and it was National Signing Day for all of those sports outside of football. Okay. All right. So what you guys been waiting on? I know you guys have been waiting patiently, so now let me give it to you. So, Texas A&M and Ole Miss coming up 7 p.m. on ESPN. College Game Day is going to be in town. Have no clue why College Game Day wasn't here on last week. I'm not sure of that. But anywho, SEC Network had a darn good time. Laura Rutledge, look, Laura, I don't know what it is with Laura. I have one of the biggest crushes on Laura's. My wife didn't know that. She's upstairs, y'all. I have one of the biggest crushes on Laura Rutledge. And I just love how the way she presents the football. She knows her stuff. When she talks, I actually listen. Okay? So, hey, shout out to Laura Rutledge. She knows a lot about the game. I enjoy watching her. All right? Just as well as the other young lady on the SEC Network, Alyssa Lane. She knows her stuff, and she goes into football and beyond. All right? So, hey, I just wanted to make that known. So, anywho, guys, let's go ahead and get off into it here. And then on the back half of this edition of the Homemade Podcast of Sports, we're going to talk about recruiting. Where's the recruiting going and stuff like that. So, let's talk about this Ole Miss. Because as of right now, I'm hearing a 50-50. I'm hearing 50% lean towards Texas A&M, 50% leans towards Ole Miss. My final score, my final prediction score for Texas A&M versus Ole Miss. And shout out to my boy E. Crenshaw from South Carolina out there, man. He's driving out there. No, I'm sorry. He's either driving or he's flying out there to the game at Ole Miss. He is going out there. So please, Aggieland, be looking for him as well. But this is the thing. So I'm hearing, like I say, 50% Ole Miss, 50% of Texas A&M. My final prediction for this game is 28-10, Texas A&M. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of reasoning, of course, to why I have A&M winning so big like that. I'm going to say this once again. 28-10, Texas A&M. This is the reason why. This is dominantly the reason why. First and foremost, Ole Miss has a lot of injuries. They're very, very banged up. Okay, I told you guys back on a couple of podcasts back that the Ole Miss defense is just not what it is to me. And I was very, very strict on that answer that I gave and on that reason that I gave. So let's go ahead and dive on into it. So I don't want to talk about the offense, okay? Because we all know what Ole Miss offense can deliver to you. The problem is that when Ole Miss offense goes up against a top-notch defense, they don't do anything, okay? And I know after this podcast, a lot of Ole Miss fans, a lot of Ole Miss players that they're watching it, they're going to feel like, hey, man, they calling us out and things of that nature. What I'm telling you, is that you cannot just have offense in this league. Once again, you need a defense to complement your offense. Okay, I'm not going to sit up here and talk like Texas A&M has the best damn offense in the world. I'm also not going to sit up here and talk like Texas A&M has the best damn defense in the world. But what I will tell you is this: Texas A&M has the #2 scoring defense nationally. And I'm going to say this once again: Texas A&M has the #2 scoring defense nationally. #1 is the Georgia Bulldogs. And once again, I'm going to talk about recruiting at the back half of this, because Georgia, I got a problem with you guys. Once again, Georgia, I got a problem with you guys. I have a strong problem. So let's go ahead and go on down to this. So I'm going to go to the scoring defense, because I already told you guys what A&M scoring defense is. Okay? And I'm also give you a couple of guys to watch out on that A&M defense. Okay? To complement everything I'm saying defensively with Texas A&M, because Texas A&M is now being taken serious defensively. I can say that. Also, man, these rumors with Jimbo Fisher going to LSU, look, I'm going to tell you like this here. Jimbo Fisher ain't going to LSU, and I'm not going to entertain that anymore. I have no clue why people around the nation are entertaining that, but it's something for people to talk about. You know, I've learned that in this world. If people don't have nothing to talk about, then it's boring. It is very, very boring. So they're going to keep on pushing the Jimbo Fisher narrative to LSU, mainly because you look at where Texas A&M is at right now. They're signing some of the best players in the country for the 2022 class. And LSU is all the way down at the bottom, probably end up at number 15 or 16 when it's all said and done for their 2022 class. So, of course, man, they want to take that momentum away. It's not going to happen. And I'm solely confident in that, and I've never been so confident in a head coach staying at a program in my life. I'm confident in that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm solely confident in that, all right? So, once again, Texas A&M #2 in scoring defense. So as I take a trip down here and see, I'm already down in the 50s. This is where Ole Miss lies at in scoring defense-wise. And to everybody out there that's watching the podcast, this is going to be a pretty long episode. Like I say, I've been missing about a week, so I have to make up for it, okay? So just tune in. If you guys are at work, hey, you know, please forgive me. You can always come back to this live and rewatch it, things of that nature. So Ole Miss scoring defense, and this is where Texas A&M used to be. Ole Miss in scoring defense is number 72 in the country. I'm gonna say this once again. Ole Miss scoring defense is number 72 in the country. Ole Miss is giving up 27 points on average a game. That would not win you a ball game, like you would like for it to do. I'm just saying, man. That would not win you very many ball games. I've seen a scoring defense that's that bad before, and I can tell you right now, they gave up a lot of points and they gave up a lot of losses. Okay? So, hey, as of right now, Ole Miss will finish out the season, in my mind, 9-3. That's me. I believe they'll finish either 9-3 or 8-4, which is a big, big rise from where that Lane Kiffin found them at. You know, but until they get that defense together, that's just all about it, I'm going to say. So they've given up 243 points on the season. They've given up 32 touchdowns on the season. 32. I'm going to say this once again, man. They've given up 32 touchdowns on the season. Now I'm going to take you to where Texas A&M is giving up their touchdowns. And they only have Texas A&M as a 2-point favorite. So obviously they know something that we may not know. Okay? So I'm just saying, you know, once again, I used to see A&M in the same boat, and I tried to make that very, very known, man. I tried to make that very, very known. And I see one of you guys commenting saying, you know, yeah, that was back in the Summerlin days. And that's what I was getting at on last week. I told you guys this, man. I've seen the defense that bad before. Us A&M fans and people that just watch college football in general, they've seen Texas A&M be that before. I'm telling you, Ole Miss is Texas A&M of where they used to be with Johnny Manziel. All offense, no defense. They had defense that one year they came to the league, and we shocked everybody, and Johnny won the Heisman. The next following year, man, they gave up so many darn points. Look, we were very, very lucky to end the season 9-4, man. And I'm gonna say this once again: we were very, very lucky to end the season 9-4 because we should have lost way more games than that. But we were very lucky because we had Johnny to save us in most of those games. The only games he couldn't save us in were the guys from Tuscaloosa. He couldn't save us from Auburn, in which Auburn had went to the national title game, of course. He couldn't save us from Missouri, in which Mizzou had went to the SEC title game. And it was one more team who he could not save us from, man. Who was that team? Because we lost to Auburn, Missouri. We lost to, and LSU. He couldn't save us from LSU. Why? Because all of those guys had a pretty good, legit defense, except Alabama. I mean, we exposed the hell out of that Alabama defense. But they were still legit. They were still legit. Once again, that's Texas A&M in the Ole Miss uniform in 2014. And I'm going to leave it at that. I know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, Ole Miss is a 2014 version of Texas A&M. That's just that. They're not an Oklahoma version by all. Man, they might be an Oklahoma version. Yeah, they may just be, but hey, it is what it is. You know, I'm not trying to shoot no shots at nobody here and nothing like that, but I'm just telling you guys what I see and what I know. I remember that. Okay, that defense was so bad, man. That defense was god awful. All right, Oklahoma, if you watch them over the years, that defense is god awful. Offense, whoo, up there. Now you're seeing Ohio State defense, and they're ranked in the top 50, but that's still god awful because it's Ohio State. You cannot just run offense. That is going to kill your team as a whole. All right, anywho, let's keep on going here. Those are just some points that I'm trying to give out here, man. So Texas A&M on the season has given up 132 points, but they're giving up 14 points per game. I'm gonna say that once again. Texas A&M defense is giving up 14 points per game. I need that whole defense to stand the hell up and don't sit down ever again. Once again, Texas A&M is giving up 14 points per game. That's it. That's a legit championship level defense scoring wise, okay? And that's just what it is. The next guys after that is Cincinnati, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Michigan, okay? So all I'm saying is that this is now week 11 of the season. Jimbo Fisher's been here for 4 years now. It took this man 4 years to get that darn defense in the spot that it's supposed to be in. And I'm going to say that once again. It took that man 4 years to get this defense in the spot it's supposed to be in. And now we're reaping the benefits of it, and we're seeing it. They're number 2 in the country. All right, so Wrecking Crew vibe-ish. All right, so let's go to total defense here. And I just want to talk about the defensive side of the ball because that's where we're going to win the ball game. And this is something that I know, man. This is where we're going to win the ball game. We hold Ole Miss to 3 points or 0 points in the first quarter. I'm gonna say that once again. Texas A&M holds Ole Miss to 3 or 7 points in the first quarter. That game is won. And I'm telling you what I know. That game is won. It is won already. Now, hey, we gotta play the game to win. I know that part. But in that first quarter, if they hold them to 0 or 3 points, man, mark my words on what I'm telling you. That game is won. Because Ole Miss has to score fast. That's how they win ball games. They score really, really quickly and try to take you out of it. But that defense gives up so many points to where you cannot do that to that type of defense. That's why, first and foremost, I don't take Lane Kiffin serious. That's me. I don't take him serious. He's a damn good offense coordinator, but I just don't take him serious. All right, but that is how you burn your defense out tremendously. So this is why Texas A&M is sitting amongst the elites. And this is why I'm starting to hear a lot of people say, well, I believe that A&M will match up with Georgia better than Alabama. It's a lot of things they're looking at defensively, because they're basically just saying defensively, I think A&M can stop them as opposed to Alabama. All right, and which may be true. You know, I do know that Texas A&M has one of the best defensive lines in all of college football right now. We didn't see that at the first of the season, but as the games went on, like I kept on telling you guys to continue to pay attention to, they got their stuff right. So Texas A&M sits amongst the elite at ranked 16th in total defense. I'm gonna say this once again. They ranked 16th in total defense. 16th in total defense right now. I have not seen Texas A&M ranked 16th in total defense all of the time they've been in the SEC. All of the time they've been in the SEC, they have never ranked 16th. They have never been a top 20 defense in all of their years in the SEC. So it's a lot of guys out there. It's a lot of fans, like the Oklahoma fans, Texas fans, Alabama fans. I'm not really hearing too much from them anymore this season. I will honestly say that I'm not really hearing too much from them no more throughout the season. But just mainly those two, Oklahoma and Texas. See, they do this a lot, but it's one Oklahoma fan that I can take up for, you know, and he comes in the podcast all the times, and he's pretty much more realistic about his team. But it's a lot of them out there that do this here, just chomp, 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 chomp. Texas A&M has waited their time. They have waited a whole decade. I'm going to say this once again. They have waited a whole decade to rank like this defensively. Offensively, man, it was never an issue to me with them in the SEC offensively. It's just the defense. You know, November shows up and Texas A&M just hides. Texas A&M is gone all of a sudden. Or we'll be on a monster roll, but once again, November pops up and you don't hear from them. You know, us A&M fans, we're looking around, we like, God, dog, man, where's our team at? They're either banged up or they either had ran out of gas. That's just what it was. So this is what Jimbo Fisher had taken over, man. I'm going to say this once again. This is what Jimbo Fisher had taken over. He taken over a team who used to give up in November. November is the month to remember, man. November is your playoffs. I'm going to say that once again. November is your playoffs. Regardless to if you're getting to the conference title game or not. If you can't get that 6th win under your belt in November, that's it for your season. You're not going to a bowl game. You're not going nowhere. Once again, November is your playoffs. This is when the gauntlet begins. This is where your rivalry comes around at the end of November, in which we all love. We all love the rivalries because I fell in love with the A&M and LSU rivalry. Oh, and that's another one that's going to talk a lot of noise. And this is the reason why they keep on saying LSU is going to get him, because LSU is the rival. You know, so of course they're going to keep on saying it. But you have to love the month of November because it shows your depth chart. That's why you hear Lane Kiffin at the podium, in which we're all going to take with a little grain of salt. He keeps on replaying that, man, Texas A&M are coming in with, you know, one of the best defensive squads. And a lot of our guys are banged up. If you do not have the depth to play with a team that can come in defensively like Texas A&M, they can shut you out the ball game, man. Regardless if college game day is going to be there or not. I saw some stat where it was saying that Texas A&M is 1-7 when college game day is on campus. Man, who gives a Excuse my language. Who gives a shit? So what? Stats are subject to change all of the time. You can change that quickly, man. That doesn't mean anything. That don't mean, oh, well, Texas A&M ain't gonna win a ball game because the college game there is there. I can tell you right now, it's going to be a strong 100% chance that all 5 votes will go to Texas A&M winning this ball game against Ole Miss. You will see 1 or 2 in which may be Kirk and I don't know who else. Maybe I'm not gonna say David Pollock because I'll be lying there. But it has to be either Kirk and somebody else on that set is probably going to pick Ole Miss to win the game. You know, because they always do. You know, I find them kind of picking against A&M more than anybody. You know what I mean? So, I mean, man, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. But these are the things that Texas A&M have been waiting on, man. Like I say, I'm going to get to recruiting here in just a little bit, and hopefully I can hype you guys up into what's about to happen because the storm is happening inside of College Station. I'm gonna say this once again: a storm is happening inside of College Station. You know, it's about to go up to a Category 5 in just a minute, recruiting wise. That's why I told you guys, man, just hold on, hang tight for the end of the episode because that recruiting is about to go into a Category 5. I'm gonna say this once again: it's about to go into the Category 5. All right, so you guys gotta hang on tight there and listen. So Texas A&M is ranked at number 16th defensively, giving up about 317.8 yards a game. So now we go to Ole Miss. And in order to get to Ole Miss with total defense, this is you have to really go way to the back of the defensive, back of the pages to see Ole Miss. And let me bring these guys up here. Let me see where they're at. So Ole Miss. So this is where Ole Miss is ranked. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't believe Texas A&M was ever this bad. Ole Miss is 104 in the country defensively. Total defense wise, Ole Miss ranks number 104. These guys have given up 431.7 yards a game. I'm not saying that Texas A&M is going to go out there and get 400 yards in this game. I will tell you this though. Texas A&M will go out there and probably get over 250 to maybe 300 rushing yards in this game. I will say that. You guys can honestly mark my words on that. All right, so that's total defense. So we're going to go to the run defense and the pass defense, and we're going to cut it off there. And then I'm going to get into recruiting. Don't do that. So passing yards allowed. This is what we're going to say here. So passing yards allowed. Texas A&M ranks number 27 in the country with passing yards allowed, with 194.7 yards a game. Have not ever seen that. I'm going to say that once again. Have not ever seen that, period. Ever. Once again, this is a championship level defense at its finest right now. That's why, once again, man, I'm going to be as bold as I can be. Texas A&M will win the SEC West. And I'm going to say it again. Texas A&M will win the SEC West. This year. I'm not talking about next year. This year. Texas A&M will win the SEC West this year. And I'm going to post that on Twitter, and there's going to be a lot of people upset. It's going to be a lot of people all in those comments from everywhere. But Texas A&M will win the SEC West. You guys let me know if you agree or not. But anyways, that's championship level defense there, passing defense wise. And this is why I say that Alabama is going to lose another game. Alabama is ranked 46 in the country. And I'm going to say this once again. Alabama is ranked 46 in the country passing defense. with 215.4 yards a game. That's why I told all Alabama fans before this season started, your team is flawed. Your team is very, very flawed, man. Your team is very flawed. All right. So I just seen one comment. The guy from the J-Boy show is picking Ole Miss as well. Well, I'm here to tell you this here. The guy from the J-Boy show is going to be very, very upset. And I'm going to say that once again. He's going to be very, very upset because Ole Miss isn't winning that game. Okay? I'm going to say this once again for all of the people in the back. Ole Miss is not winning this football game. I have Texas A&M beating Ole Miss 28-10. And that's no disrespect to Matt Corral, none whatsoever. It's just a simple fact that he doesn't have a defense to complement him. He does not. He does not have a defense to complement him. All right? That's all I'm saying. That is all that I'm saying. There was a lot of people said that Auburn was going to win the game. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of people that said Auburn was going to win the game. I told y'all that Auburn wasn't going to win the game. What I did not know and what I didn't tell you was that we was going to beat Auburn 20-3. Now, I didn't say that. I had no clue that defense was going to shut them down like that. But that defense, man, they went out there and they played football. They played old school football. What got me was that when A-Chain fumbled that ball, I'm going to say this once again. What got me was that when A-Chain fumbled that ball, the defense immediately went over there to A-Chain and picked him up. That is what I'm going to say once again. The defense immediately went over there to A-Chain and picked him up and told him, no. You don't lean your head down. You don't sit on the field. Get up. Come on, man. Go to the sideline. We got you. I'm going to say this once again. When A-Chain fumbled that ball and that defense immediately got on the field, I'm talking about immediately got over there on the field and picked A-Chain up. I've seen nothing but defensive players go out there to A-Chain and pick him up and say, no. Come on to the sideline, baby. We got you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You was about to score that touchdown. We're going to get that touchdown back for you. And they made him fumble. Did they know that Bo Nix was going to fumble? No. But he fumbled. And what did Michael Clemens do? Michael Clemens picked up the ball and he ran it in. You know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of Leon O'Neal getting that interception the first game of the season and running that interception back for a touchdown. That's what that reminded me of. You guys don't know how electric that stadium was. And to have Walter Nolan and Chris Marshall to commit at that game, man, you don't know how special that game was. That's what I'm saying. Once again, we're going to get to that in just a minute because it's a Category 5 storm brewing in College Station, recruiting-wise. Steve Wilfong knew it on 247. I knew it, Ben knew it, and we're going to talk about it, all right? So, anywho, Ole Miss, passing defense-wise, 79th in the country with 237.3 yards a game given up. So, I hear a lot of you guys on the comments, I see a lot of you guys on the comments saying the advantage that Ole Miss has is that they're playing at home. That's true. That's very, very true. That is very, very true, man. They have the advantage at home. The advantage that we have is the mentality of the team now. It's a championship mentality. They want to win any and everywhere. They don't care about where they're playing at. They're going out there to win. And that's just what it is. All right? So, now we're going to go to the rushing yards. So let me get down here to the rush defense. And don't get me wrong, man. Ole Miss has one of the best rushing teams in all of college football because they stack up amongst the elites in running the ball. What I'm saying is that Texas A&M defense stacks up amongst the elites at just playing good defensively. That's just what it is. So Texas A&M run defense. This is what shocks the hell out of me, because this is where our run defense was before. Our run defense was 80th in the nation. I'm gonna say that once again. Our run defense was 80th in the nation. I'm talking about, oh man, we was asking questions, everything. Man, what's going on with defensive line, man? Man, we just ain't good this year. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now they're 29th in the country in run defense. They ain't getting up number 5 touchdowns throughout 11 games. Well, throughout 10 games, going into 11 now. They've only given up 5 touchdowns. You know how hard that is to do? I'm gonna say that once again. They've only given up 5 touchdowns. Do you not know how hard that is to do? Once again, man, they don't. Hey, look, this defense hadn't gone anywhere. They're here. Not going nowhere, man. For what? We're here. That's a championship defense once again. That's what I'm telling y'all, man. Stay tuned. Oh, and they're only giving up 3.6 yards a carry. Was Ole Miss run offense? I believe they're top 5 in the country, if I'm not mistaken. So now we go to Ole Miss run defense. And this will be our strong advantage point. A very strong advantage point. Texas A&M Ole Miss run defense. Once again, man, I can't make this stuff up. I'm so used to seeing a bad defense like this to where it's crazy. Ole Miss run defense, 107 in the country. I'm going to say this once again. Ole Miss run defense, 107 in the country. 107, people. That's not a good run defense, man. Hell, I could get my son and line up with my other baby boy, and we can run through that defense. I can get my wife to run through that defense. I'm going to say this once again, man. That's not a very good run defense. I could line up and I could run all day through that defense. Once again, I've seen this defense before in a Texas A&M uniform. I'm going to say it once again. We've seen this defense before in the Texas A&M uniform. That is not nothing different to me. It's not. Man, I've seen it before. Once again, I can't make this up, people. I've seen that before, man. So Isaiah Spiller should have a field day. A-Chain should have a field day. L.J. Johnson, if they let him play, should have a field day. Anaya Smith, he may get a couple of carries. And Zach Calzada, no, we can't run Zach. We can't do that. No, we can't run Zach. Zach, you got to sit down on this one, man. We cannot run you. All right, so these guys should have a field day. Demond Demons, please be expecting him to have a damn good game in this game. I expect Demons to have about 60 yards off maybe about 5 receptions in this game. Okay? So just be looking for that. So Ole Miss is giving up 194.3 yards a game, and they've given up 20 rushing touchdowns on the season. That's all I need to say on that. And we're gonna stop at that. So now, let's talk about recruiting. Let's get off into recruiting, and this is going to be the last of it. Okay. So let's talk about recruiting at the moment. And of course, you guys know, man, recruiting is my favorite. This is one of my favorites. So Texas A&M moves into the top 5 of recruiting rankings and has a chance to be number 1. I told you guys all season that Texas A&M was coming for the number 1 class. A lot of you guys believe me, a lot of you guys did not. But I've told you guys all season that Texas A&M was coming for that number 1 spot, and they weren't backing down for anybody. And you notice at the podcast I said, Georgia, I have a strong problem with y'all because Georgia has now got the number 1 class thanks to the commitment from Julian Humphrey that decommitted from Florida. Florida, I'm going to talk about you guys in just a sec. So A&M is coming for that number one class. All right. Of course, we're up there with Alabama right now, and we're up there with a lot more other people. We're up there with Alabama. We're up there with Georgia. We're up there with Notre Dame. Notre Dame, yes, people, they have a 5-star commitment in their classes. Why they're number 3 at the moment. We were number 3 just yesterday, thanks to a reclassification from the tight end Theodore Ostrom. He was in the 2023 class, but now he's moved over to the 2022 class. So he's a tight end, 4-star. He will be joining, once again, he will be joining one of our electric recruiters. That's why I say it's a Category 5 hurricane up there in College Station, recruiting-wise, not an actual hurricane. But recruiting-wise, it's a Category 5. Donovan Green is by far one of the best recruiters out there for Texas A&M. Bobby Taylor, the 4-star cornerback, nationally number 152. If you guys do not know, yes, people, Bobby Taylor is a top 200 commit. Not top 300, top 200. All right. He's 154 national. So Bobby Taylor is another. I have no clue of who taught Bobby Taylor to do what he's doing right now. I ain't got no clue of who taught Donovan Harris to do what he's doing right now. Now, this is what I will say. We now have the number 1 defensive lineman in the 2022 cycle. Yes, thank you to Walter Nolan. Walt, where you at? Thank you, son. We now have the number 1 defensive lineman. I told you guys that we were going to get the number 1 defensive lineman anyways. A lot of people didn't believe me. A lot of you guys did. I thank you all for that. Now you guys are starting to see for yourself. They're doing something that we have never seen before. These 2 gentlemen in particular are doing something we've never seen before. Bobby Taylor and Donovan Green. I'm going to say this once again. They're doing something we've never seen before. So, what if? Now I'm going to go back to that little quote, because I'm going to make that quote famous. What if I told you that we could sign not only 1, not only 2, not even 3, but 7 to maybe 8 5-star recruits in this one class? Would you believe me? And I'm going to say this once again. Would you believe me? Would you believe me? What if I told you that we can sign 7 to 8 5-star recruits in this class? Would you believe me? I need your honest answer. So, you guys got to picture this, man, because a picture speaks for 1,000 words. Be young. You ever seen that GIF with Jimbo Fisher in those maroon shades? You know, a lot of people love to say, oh, man, you're just looking at them old maroon glasses, man. You got to take the maroon shades off. You got to take the maroon shades off. Y'all ever seen that GIF with Jimbo Fisher with those maroon glasses on? And the GIF is doing like a turn. So it's like Jimbo Fisher's like turning. You have to understand what Jimbo Fisher is looking at behind those maroon shades. He's looking at the future. He looks at things that we're not going to look at. I'm telling you what he's looking at, though. He's looking at the future and beyond. He's looking at a national title being put up there next to the 12th man. He's looking at a fan base that isn't going to stop at all. Understand that Texas A&M's fan base has been doing this for over generations. I'm going to say this once again, for over generations. They've been doing this for centuries. Texas A&M fan base has been doing this for centuries, packing out the stadium, stuff like that. Jimbo Fisher is looking at the simple fact of we were an unranked team, and that stadium was still sold the hell out. How are you unranked, and you still got 109,000 people? What? Whoa, wait a minute. We're not even ranked. You have to understand what he's looking at and what those kids were looking at. Those kids were looking at the same thing. Like, bro, they not even ranked, bro. Bro, they not even ranked. and they're selling out the stadium like this? Wow. You have to understand that that gets a lot of kids' attention. That gets a lot of parents' attention. That had my attention. I mean, that had my attention to the T. And I was supposed to be at that game with my wife, by the way. I was supposed to be at that game. That got the nation's attention. Once again, this what's behind the maroon shades of Jimbo Fisher. He's looking at what could be in the years to come. Do you not know that when Jimbo Fisher wins a national title, that dude will forever be remembered in College Station and around the state of Texas in general for generations beyond? That's what's behind those maroon shades. Think about what you can do. Do you not know that if Jimbo Fisher signs the #1 recruiting class, how he'll be remembered around the state of Texas, in Texas A&M in particular, football-wise? Do you not know if Jimbo Fisher signs the #1 class, what that would do for everybody else? D. Taylor, he's saying Jimbo ain't winning the Natty at Texas A&M. When you come on here and you tell me the reason to why he's not winning the Natty at Texas A&M. Because if you guys are going to say that, y'all need to let me know the reason. Because we have all the resources. We're now getting the players. We've now taken down 2 of the big dogs in the SEC West. What else is it to do? All you need is a playoff berth, a division title for one, start off, a SEC championship game appearance, either win or lose, depending on how you lose it, but winning is the formula. And then you need a playoff berth. What is stopping you? It's nothing. So you have to understand that Texas A&M been a sleeping giant for generations, man. For generations. They're coming back for what they rightfully deserve. And that's the national title. I've told you guys this over and over and over. Understand that I'm not a part of the Big 12 fan base. I was not around in those days. I'm going to say this once again. I wasn't around in those days. I'm a part of the SEC, Texas A&M. Now, I go back with the history, and I explained this to you guys many times back then. That's why R.C. Slocum, after looking up the history of A&M, R.C. Slocum is my favorite coach by far. That's one of my favorites. But Jimbo Fisher has that lock on my favorite all time because it's from what I'm seeing. I didn't see RC. I saw Kevin Sumlin. All right? I saw Kevin. I saw what he was able to do. Now I'm seeing Jimbo Fisher, and I'm noticing what he is going to do because he's already doing it. I hear a lot of talk about this. Well, those guys signing there to go 9-3 or 8-4 every year. Well, which one is it going to be? Because y'all say 9-3 and then y'all say 8-4 at first, and it started at 7-5 2 years ago. 9 went to 8-4. 9's at 9-3. Well, which one is it going to be? Which one? And I noticed that you guys are saying this because from what I'm looking at now, this is the reason why a lot of people are saying that they may just sign the #1 recruiting class. So let me tell you, I told you that it's a storm brewing in College Station. I told you that. First and foremost, they got Connor Wingman at the helms. All right? See, they have Connor Wingman at the helms. I have no clue of why whoever this fella is in the comments talking about 9-3 doesn't win a national title. What are you looking at to say it's 9-3? What are you looking at? Because now you're saying what everybody else is saying. See, that's what I don't get. You guys say what everybody else says. Y'all hadn't won a national title since 1939. That is the biggest line for anybody in an argument with a fan from Texas A&M. That's the only line that they're going to bring up. Also, this here narrative of wide receivers doesn't evolve in Jimbo Fisher's offense, y'all need to kill it already. I ain't got no clue why y'all keep on saying that, because of the simple fact that you guys haven't seen Demond Demas break out or have a big game yet. You guys haven't seen a couple more other people have a big game yet. Well, guys, do you not know that the quarterback got injured? Before Haynes King went down, Haynes King was distributing the ball. That little guy was just getting started. What are you guys not understanding on it? Just hold up. What do you owe? What do y'all owe? We looking at the Florida State day. Is that the only thing that you can look at? And what? You looking at the 3 past years he's been here, and there's no legitimate wide receiver that went first round? Is that what you guys are looking at? Because it's simple fact, I already went out on a limb and said this here. All of the wide receivers that left, they did not need to leave yet. That's why most of those guys did not get drafted. They didn't need to leave. They only left because the competition, in my opinion, the competition that came in was beating them out. I'm going to say that once again. They only left because the competition that was coming in was beating them out. You know, so, I mean, hey, man, this was, Demond Demas will be a first-round pick. All right, I'm just let that be known to anybody. Demas will be a first-round pick. Caleb Chapman would be probably like a 3rd, 4th rounder, only because of his injury history. Anaya Smith will be a high 2nd round if he comes out this year. I'm going to say that once again. Anaya Smith will be a high 2nd round. Jaden Watermeyer at tight end will be a 1st round pick, regardless. Regardless if he goes at the back end of the 1st round or the middle of the 1st round. I'm looking at the middle for him. But he will be a 1st round pick. Once again, what are you guys looking at? We haven't even seen Baylor Cook be in the actual game yet. He's just waiting on Watermeyer to leave. He can't get in there because of Watermeyer. You know, but I'm anxiously awaiting a 2 tight end set, in which I know it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. You know, so I mean, hey man, it is what it is. So I see the little young fella saying, I just don't see A&M winning a national title with Jimbo Fisher. So so these are the classes that Jimbo Fisher has piled up. He piled up, and I'm going back to when Leon O'Neal came in. He piled up the number 17 recruiting class. He piled it up with the number 4 recruiting class. Then backdoored that with the number 8 recruiting class. And now I'm about to line this up with the number 1 recruiting class. Within those classes, Jimbo Fisher got Zach Calzada at quarterback, because you need a quarterback. He got Zach first. Backdoored and got Haynes King, in which Haynes King was a 5-star, but they bumped him down to a 4-star because of that senior season where everybody left. But then he backdoored in the 2021 recruiting class. With Eli Stowers, that has moved over to tight end now. But then he comes back around once again with the 2022 recruiting class. He backdoored the 2022 recruiting class and has Connor Wingman. Not sure if you guys have ever I'm not sure if you guys have seen Connor Wingman play, but if you want to, go and look it up on YouTube and watch his games. Because we can see it down here in Texas. Now, he had one game that was on ESPN, and he absolutely went all the way off. I mean, he just dogged out that entire competition. That was a one-man wrecking crew. Never seen that before in high school. But he done it under the lights. That lets me further know he's not scared of the lights, people. He is not. He's not scared of the lights. He doesn't shy away from it. That's what he wants. Put me on the big stage. I'm here, and he's very, very quiet. The other quarterbacks that's very, very quiet is Haynes King. Understand the point that I'm getting at. This is Jimbo Fisher's first ever 5-star quarterback ever since he's been the head coach. He won the national title with a quarterback that was not a 5-star, people. Or not to my knowledge. I believe Winston was like he was either a highly rated 4-star or a mid 4-star, something like that. He wasn't a 5-star QB. Played like a 5-star QB. Wasn't a 5-star QB. Understand where I'm getting it. He has a 5-star wide receiver. Understand what I'm getting at? He has 3 stars too. Don't get me. I'm not trying to take away nothing from 3-star recruits. He has those guys. He has a defense that may be light years, depending on next year. He has a defense coming into next year that should be even better than this one, that he has not ever had before as a head coach. Understand, he took down the 2 perennial powerhouses in Alabama at Kyle Field. That has never been done before. He made history. That was what we were waiting on. Nobody could take those 2 teams down at Kyle Field. That was what we were waiting on. He done it unranked, and he done it while being ranked. I'm going to say it once again. He has some of the best fan support that you can ever think of. We're behind him 100%. Understand that 12th man is just who they say they are. 12th man. We don't shy away from anything. We're there for the long haul. Once again, we were unranked. We were an unranked opponent and still sold out the stadium. He feels that now Jimbo Fisher feels that he owes them something for doing that. All right. Now, we don't play the game. The players play the game at the end of the day, but he feels that he owes that Aggie Nation what they should have gotten a long time ago. Once again, Texas A&M is a sleeping giant. I know I'm starting to sound like a tape recorder here. Texas A&M is a sleeping giant. Okay? They're a sleeping giant. They lost to Mississippi State, Arkansas. I know that part. It is what it is. We have moved along from that. The time is now. He's making up for it. Okay? Anywho, so this is the reason to why they signed number 1 class, and this is the reason why I believe they will sign number 1 class. First and foremost, Walter Nable has now turned himself into a recruiter for Texas A&M. I'm going to say this once again. He has now turned himself into a recruiter for Texas A&M. Now he's on Twitter asking Evan Stewart, you ready to be an Aggie? This was Evan Stewart's response. Man, quit playing with me, man. Laugh out loud. All those guys were at this Auburn game. Now I'm hearing that Evan Stewart, which is confirmed, cancels his Alabama visit as well. You know, last guy that canceled the Alabama visit and committed to Texas A&M, Walter Nable. So that should tell you a lot. I'm gonna say that once again. That should tell you a lot. A lot of people wanted me to stop worrying about Evan Stewart, and I told them no. For what, man? Why would we stop worrying about him? I want that little young fella. I see what that little young fella can offer. I see what he can bring to that offense with the likes of Moose Muhammad. And notice I keep on saying Moose Muhammad name a lot, because you're going to see a lot of him. Next year, you're going to see a lot of him next year. You're going to see Moose Muhammad like crazy next year. You hear me? Moose Muhammad can catch, man, and he can run routes out this world. That's why I don't understand that narrative of a wide receiver would not excel in Jimbo Fisher's offense. So then I saw somebody put up a stat of the Mon Demon stats to Xavier Worthy over there at Texas. What does that have to do with anything? When the record is 4-5. Either you want to play as a team or you want just some individual stats. See, that's what kills me. Team wins you a national championship and wins you other things. Individual performance, I've only seen that happen from one guy, and that was from Cam Newton himself. I only seen that happen one time in my life. That was from Cam Newton. That is very, 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 very rare. And Cam Newton will forever be respected anywhere that he goes because of that. But I've only seen that happen once, man. And that was Cam Newton. That's all I'm saying. But anywho, and he was a quarterback at the end of the day. So, anywho, Evan Stewart, it looks like he's starting to lean towards Texas A&M. And Steve Wilfong put in his crystal ball for Texas A&M. So it should be out of Texas and Texas A&M. So this is another one. So we got the number 1 player, number 1 defensive lineman. Now we're looking at getting number 3 defensive line, who was Shamar Stewart, in which I believe that we will get. All right, so that's another one. So that's 1 5-star, 2 5-star, 3 5-star that I mentioned. This is the 4th one, Harold Perkins. Now, Harold Perkins isn't going to say anything like that, and I commend that little young fella because he's going to look, he's going to entertain, it's all right, cool. But I believe Harold will be an egg at the end of the day. I know for sure that it will be between LSU and Texas A&M. All right, I know that for sure. But at the end of the day, I believe that Texas A&M closed in on him. So that was the 4th one. So this is the 5th one. And a lot of people want me to kind of go away from him too, because they don't believe that he's looking at Texas A&M like that. This little young fella is very, very sneaky to me, I believe. And I believe at the end of the day, man, it will be out of these 2 teams, Alabama and Texas A&M. Denver Harris. He's the 5-star corner, 13 nationally, number 3 at his position. I believe we have a shot at getting Denver Harris. All right, so that's going to be the 5th one. The 6th one is this guy here, Jacoby Matthews. I told you guys about him already. He's the safety over there from Louisiana. He decommitted from LSU. He's number 3 in his position, number 29 nationally. They've crystal balled him, Texas A&M. I really don't need to tell you that much. You haven't heard from him a lot like that, but trust me, Jacoby in the wings watching. He knows where he wants to go. And I'm just talking about the 5-star here, people. So Connor Wingman is already committed. So that was 6 right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that was 7 I just named. So this is the 8th one. And we could possibly sign 9. Yes, we do have room, people. We do have room for 9 5-star commitments. So this is the 8th one. And don't sleep on him. This is all I'm gonna say. Don't sleep on him. He's an edge. He's an edge rusher. Amar Abel, Duncanville, Texas. Number 24 nationally, 2 at his position, 8 in the state overall. Right now they have him crystal ball to Ohio State. I understand what Ohio State is doing, But don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on him. Another young man I'm going to mention is this here, and this is the 9th one. It's Kevin Banks. I've rated by Kevin Banks oh so much. That's because Kevin Banks is everything that he says that he is. Kevin Banks is really that good. All right, he is really, really that good. And I like the little young fella, and I've seen him a lot. So these are my other guys that aren't 5-star commits. That aren't 5 stars. So Enai White, crystal ball is in Texas A&M hands. Edge rusher is real. Another guy here is Anthony Lucas. A lot of people are following Anthony Lucas so far. And I believe Anthony Lucas is now starting to turn some heads. He done the Alabama visit over the weekend. But it's something about A&M that attracts him a whole lot. And that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that A&M is pretty much in a position of landing him big time. Him and Enai White. So, man, you're looking at a defensive line that's so stout to where, that's why I said that going forward, this defensive line is going to be even better. Going forward, the defense overall is going to be even better. They're shooting for number 1. They couldn't do it this year, but they want that number 1 spot defensively. They want to call themselves the number 1 defense in the nation and keep that trend going for a very, very long time. All right, so I commend those guys and I respect those guys for doing that. So this is another guy here, Le'Veon Moss. I know we haven't heard much from him, but I got Le'Veon on that radar, man. And I believe Le'Veon would either sign with Texas A&M or he could possibly sign with Alabama. Just keep that in mind. He possibly sign with A&M, but he could possibly sign with Alabama. I see LSU in there, but I don't see LSU He was another decommitment from LSU. I don't see LSU keeping him home. This one here is another one. Cam Drewberry. Now they crystal ball Cam to Texas A&M. That's been on there for a very, very long time. Can we land him? Yes. Will we? I don't know that part yet. I honestly don't know. So this here is another guy that has been crystal ball to us as of now. He's a 3-star recruit. Mark Nable. He's an inside offensive lineman. So we need as many offensive linemen as we can get. So I believe they will land him. Once again, we do have spots for all of these guys. I mean, we got spots for all of them. We only have 17 commits. That's it right now. So they can possibly sign 10 to 12 more. That's how deep this class can be. And I told you guys that's how deep we can be this year. That's why I believe that they will sign the #1 class. It's going to be a heavy rotation defensively, and I believe that now the defense has got into a rhythm of them being shuffled around because of how fast these offenses like to go nowadays. So, hey, that could be a really good look. But we're battling with Georgia and Alabama, just like usual, and LSU, although they're all the way down there. But we're battling with those guys. That's why I say I have a problem with Georgia. Georgia just signed Julian Humphrey. You're coming into the state of Texas and you're taking our kids. I don't like that. I'm not with it. But they're coming in here and they're getting them. All right. But anywho, guys, that is it. This is a very long episode. I told you guys that I was going to make this one really, really long. All right. But I love all of you guys. We can get ready for this game on tomorrow night. Once again, my final score is 28-10, Texas A&M. #EagleMax.